Hey guys, welcome to this video. In this video I will be talking about the Fujifilm 16mm f1.4, which I have owned for probably around a year now. And I have to say, this lens has probably been my most used lens in this last year. And that's for a couple of reasons that I'm gonna talk about in this video. So if you are interested in the Fujifilm 16mm 1.4 and you might consider buying it or whatever, or you're just interested in the lens, keep watching because I'm gonna talk about this lens. Let's go. So the 16 1.4 here is just, first of all, a beautiful lens. If I take off the lens cap, you can see there's a pretty big opening because it's a 1.4, and it just very well built as well. It's completely metal. That's one of the first upsides. It's just great build quality, which is most Fujifilm lenses honestly that I have owned. Yeah, it feels great. It's kind of heavy, especially on a smaller camera body. I've used this a lot on my X-T3, which I unfortunately don't have anymore, but that was a great pair because the X-T3 is kind of a little bit bulky and this lens is kind of heavy, you know. It's not very big or long, but it's more heavy, so for me it's not an issue because it's not that heavy, you know what I mean. Yeah, the build quality is great. That's the first upside. The aperturing is pretty great. It's not as great as my 33 1.4 or the 18 to 55. It's a little bit loose, which is fine, I guess. It's not that I bumped it or whatever. It's kind of satisfying as well. Yeah, I don't see an issue in here, but I can see someone bumping this and ruining their shot or whatever, so you could keep an eye out for it, but in my opinion it's just pretty great. And then instead of a simple manual focus ring, Fujifilm decided to put a focus clutch here, so you can clutch this up. And I don't know, for me it feels kind of useless because I never use manual focus, but I guess this would be great for the manual focus experience in a way, but I have never used it, to be honest, because I don't see a reason to use manual focus on a lens like this, because I don't shoot like professional films or whatever. So yeah, I just use general autofocus, and that's pretty good in this lens. And that's the next topic I'm going to talk about, is the autofocus. This lens is pretty old. I think it was released in 2015 or so, 2016 maybe. It does not have the linear motors that the newer lenses have. I'm talking about the 33, 18 and 23, the linear motor versions. Those are just amazing. I'm using the 33 1.4 right now, and it's just lightning fast, as you can see. I put my autofocus on slow, so it might be a little bit slower, but it's also very silent, which is great. One downside is this autofocus is just so loud, and I have a good example of that in one of my short films that I posted on this channel. I think I edited it out, but you could just hear the autofocus, so I had to put the volume down completely because it just ruined the shot, which is just really unfortunate. So it's pretty noisy. I don't think you can really film with this with a shotgun mic on your camera, but like this, whenever I'm shooting with a Blue Yeti or whatever, you can't hear the lens, but just kind of noisy, which I don't like. But other than that, the autofocus is pretty good in my opinion. I think it's exceptional, I guess, because I never missed a important shot or whatever, so I really like the autofocus. And it's just fast, and it's also a sharp lens. The quality is great. I'll show some image examples, but yeah, it's just great quality, and it's sharp at every aperture, to be honest, even at 1.4. And one of the coolest things that this lens has is that it has an amazing minimum focus distance, so you could kind of play with that and use it for some creative stuff. Yeah, it's just great for general photography and videography because you can get some pretty cool bokeh out of this, even though it's a pretty wide angle lens, so it's not very common for a wide angle lens to have good bokeh. You could achieve it with this lens. It's not perfect because, well, it's a wide angle lens, so it's gonna be a little bit jittery, not pleasing as a 33 or a 50 mil or a telephoto lens. So yeah, I wouldn't use it for portraits and stuff, but just for documentary or whatever, you could get some pleasing background blur, or in videos like this. The aperture is not the only thing that decides the background blur, it's also the distance to the camera and the focal length. So there are a lot of factors that are playing into that, but yeah, very close minimum focus distance. It's a pretty sharp or really sharp lens actually, so you don't have to be concerned about the softness or whatever on the newer sensors. I think this would work on like the X-T5 or X-H2 or whatever. So, and I've been using it on my X-Trans 4 cameras a lot, and it's just perfect. So especially on my X-T30, which I have here, I bought this a couple of months ago, and I've been using this combo recently for mainly video. I've been shooting some videos like outside and inside and stuff, kind of documenting everything, and I think it looks very cool. Actually, my last video, my last short film, I filmed a very short part with the X-T30 and the 16mm. Yeah, it's just a great video lens and also for photography, but I find that the 16mm focal length is just a little bit too wide in my opinion. Yeah, I kind of struggle with finding the right composition and just the right shot because it's just so wide. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I don't use this for street photography, but what I did use it for was astrophotography. This is the only lens that I've used for astrophotography, and that's because it's like a very wide lens, so you can capture like the whole Milky Way and the galaxy. It has a 1.4 aperture, which is, well, if you're shooting astrophotography, you want to bring as much light in the lens because you're shooting at night, so it's kind of obvious. So the 1.4 aperture is perfect for that. And then I use manual focus actually whenever I'm shooting astrophotography, so the clutch focus comes in handy with that. Yeah, I took some crazy photos of like the Milky Way and stuff, and that's not straight out of the camera. I added that in I think an app called Sequator or something like that, and I want to make a video on that as well, like how you shoot the Milky Way. Right now it's winter, so winter is not the best season to shoot the Milky Way. I was like really actively shooting the Milky Way around like May till September, so yeah, I really tried my best to shoot the Milky Way, and I only use this lens, which is so awesome. So it's great to capture like a landscape or just a wide shot in general because it's a wide angle lens. So yeah, I would really recommend this for someone that's looking for a like landscape lens or a documentary lens for mainly video, I guess. Because as I said, in my opinion, for photography, it's just kinda awkward. In my opinion, the 23mm is even too wide, so the 16 is just, for me, it's not the best photography lens. I much prefer a 33 or 35 or 27mm lens for just casual photography and not a wide angle lens. But that's just my opinion and my preference. So in my opinion, it's just not made for street photography because it's also pretty, like as I said, big and heavy. Also, that's not a great excuse because I use my 33 for street photography as well. But I just don't like the focal length for photography is the main thing. This has mainly been my video lens. As I said, astrophotography, but you could use it for just photography in general and maybe like tight spaces like a room or a car. It's just a great overall like general lens, but it's probably the best for video because the autofocus is just pretty nice for landscape stuff or like I said, astrophotography, because the wide shot makes it very interesting for video in my opinion, so I just like those shots. Yeah, overall some other random specs. It's weather resistant, so you could use it in the rain, which is pretty nice. I like to shoot this lens with a black promise filter that I have here. I bought this mainly for this lens because I think it makes it even more film-like on my Fuji cameras. Yeah, I enjoy using a black promise filter. This is a quarter strength, so you can get some great looking photos with that. I just enjoy using black promise filters. But now that I have Dehancer for my editing software, I use the mist effect more in the software instead of the filter. So if you want to hear more about Dehancer, by the way, I'm bringing out a review in the coming month or so because Dehancer sent me a like a free trial to use their software. So yeah, if you want to use Dehancer, by the way, check out the description. You can use my code for 10% discount on a whatever trial you want. So yeah, check out the description. Just a quick plug here. Overall, this lens is just amazing for basically everything, but in my opinion not the best for photography because I don't like wide angles shots for photography, but for video I just like it a lot, for landscape a lot. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to check the description for a 10% discount for Dehancer, which is a editing software for Lightroom, Photoshop, and DaVinci Resolve and some other programs, and it's great. Yeah, that was the video on the 16:1.4. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to leave a like and comment down below and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.